You're looking at the longest-running nameplate in automotive history. Not the Mustang, not the Corvette, not even the F-150. In a world obsessed with EVs and compact efficiency, this 3-ton living dinosaur should have been extinct decades ago. It's too big for most garages, it drinks gas like a cargo ship, and it's basically a studio apartment on wheels. But here's the thing. The US government won't travel without it. Hollywood can't film an action movie without blowing one up, and American families refuse to give it up. Today, we're breaking down why the Chevrolet Suburban is the undisputed king of the road, and how it managed to survive for nearly a century without ever changing its DNA. Let's go back to the Great Depression. Cars were fragile, roads were mostly dirt, and if you had a big family, you were basically out of luck unless you bought a literal bus. Most trucks back then were just a seat and a flatbed. If you wanted to carry people in gear, you had to use a woody wagon, which was literally made of wood. They rotted, they creaked, and they fell apart if you looked at them funny. Chevrolet saw a gap. What if we put a steel station wagon body on a heavy-duty truck frame? In 1935, the Carryall Suburban was born. It was ugly, it was loud, and it was bumpy, but it was indestructible. It could carry 8 people through a muddy field and still start the next morning. It wasn't trying to be luxury, it was a tool. And that tool mentality is exactly why it's still here 90 years later. If you see a line of black Suburbans coming down the street, you don't think, oh, look, a nice family SUV. You think someone very important is about to arrive. Why does the Secret Service use the Suburban instead of, say, a Cadillac or a tank? A tank is too slow. A Cadillac is too small. To protect a president, you need a vehicle that can carry 4,000 pounds of heavy armor plating, a localized communication hub, and a team of agents with high-caliber weapons, all while being able to hit 100 miles per hour to escape an ambush. The Suburban is the only platform that offers that specific Goldilocks zone of heavy-duty suspension and massive internal volume. It's become the global visual shorthand for power. When a Suburban shows up, the vibe in the room changes. It's the only car that looks equally at home at a 5-star hotel and a literal war zone.
For a long time, the Suburban was just a utility vehicle for park rangers and construction foremen. It was work gear. But in the 1970s, something shifted. Gas prices were spiking, but American families were getting bigger and they wanted to see the country. Wagons were dying out. The Suburban was the only thing left that could pull a 25-foot Airstream trailer while keeping the kids in the back from killing each other. This is where the Texas Cadillac nickname came from. Wealthy ranchers in the South realized they didn't want a shiny sedan that would get stuck in the mud. They wanted a leather-wrapped truck that could do everything. Chevy leaned in, adding air conditioning, plush carpets, and power windows. Suddenly, the work truck became a status symbol for the do-it-all elite. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the elephant in the parking lot. The modern Suburban is almost 19 feet long. People love to hate on the size. Critics say it's excessive or dangerous for cities. And honestly, they're kind of right. Trying to parallel park a Suburban in New York City is a psychological thriller. The turning radius is roughly the size of a small moon. But here's the retention secret. Nobody buys a Suburban because they want a big car. They buy it because they need the space. If you have 4 kids, 2 golden retrievers, and a boat, there is literally no other vehicle on the planet, including the Tahoe, that fits your life. The Tahoe's trunk with the 3rd row up is tiny. The Suburban, you can fit the 3rd row and a week's worth of groceries. It's the ultimate peace of mind machine. If you ask any enthusiasts which Suburban was the peak, they'll likely point to the 1990s models, the GMT 400. Before this, trucks were still pretty miserable to drive. They handled like tractors. Chevy spent $1 billion, a massive amount in the 80s, to make the Suburban feel like a car. They nailed it. The GMT 400 Suburban, 1992 to 1999, became a cultural icon. It was in The Sopranos, it was in every rap video, and it was in every suburban driveway. These things are so over-engineered that you still see them on the road today with 350,000 miles on the original engine. It wasn't just a car, it was an heirloom. Today, a top-trim Suburban High Country costs nearly $90,000. That is a lot of money for a Chevy. For that price, you could buy a BMW, a Mercedes, or a Porsche. So why choose the Chevy? Is it just brand loyalty, or is there something else? It's the magnetic ride control and the Duramax diesel engine. Chevy took tech from the Corvette, suspension that reads the road 1,000 times a second, and put it in this giant box. The result is a 6,000-pound beast that rides smoother than most luxury sedans. It's the silent luxury play. It doesn't scream, "I'm rich," like a G-Wagon, but it says, "I'm in charge." It's not all sunshine and rainbows, though. Owning a Suburban comes with a specific set of headaches. When things go wrong on a vehicle this size, they go wrong in a big way. Changing 8 quarts of oil, replacing tires the size of hula hoops, and the dreaded active fuel management issues that haunted the 2010s models. But Suburban owners don't care. They treat these repairs like tribute to the gods of utility, because they know that as long as they take care of it, the Suburban will outlast every other car in the neighborhood. It's a trade-off: high operating costs for a vehicle that can literally do anything.
We're moving toward an all-electric future. The Silverado EV is already here. Can a massive, heavy, aerodynamically challenged brick like the Suburban actually survive the EV revolution? To get 400 miles of range in something this big, you'd need a battery so heavy the tires would probably pop. The Suburban will survive because it has to. Whether it's hydrogen, electric, or some new biofuel, the long wheelbase, body-on-frame layout is a global necessity. You can't put a presidential motorcade in a Tesla Model 3. You can't haul a horse trailer with a Bolt. The Suburban is the final boss of the automotive world. Section 10. Conclusion. The final word. Setup. So, what is the Chevrolet Suburban, really? Is it an environmental disaster, a bloated relic of the past, or the ultimate American icon? It's all of them. It's the only vehicle that has seen the end of World War II, the moon landing, the rise of the internet, and the birth of AI, all while staying true to its original mission: carry everyone, carry everything, and never stop moving. It's not just an SUV, it's the Suburban, and it's not going anywhere.